Hello and welcome back to Blueprints. I haven't actually looked at my footage and it's been a couple days, so let me quickly check this. Okay. Yes, the last run was the ballroom that I unfortunately misused pretty drastically. I'm a little confused by this map though. I don't know how the boudoir is right there. I'll have to check. Yeah, I'll have to check my footage again because clearly there's something between the pool and the boudoir that's not showing up on here. But anyway, I do remember finding the ballroom, and it had some sheet music that was also found in the workshop, which I was also able to draft again this run. But I still wasn't able to make anything in the workshop, so hopefully I can do that eventually. For now, the main thing I'm still hoping to do is go to an outside room and hope that it's the, what's it called? The shelter or the tomb, because those two things have, I have unfinished business in those places. And other than that, I think we're just kind of still hoping to see some new places. Schoolhouse is so tempting, but I think I need to do shelter. Let's do it. Plus shelter gives me the red room bonus, which is really nice. Don't think there are actual like items to pick up in here or anything. So we are just gonna do this thing. Today is day 13. Day 1 was the 7th, which means it's been 12 days since the 7th, which means today's the 19th, I think. So what we're going to do is set this to the 19th at 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. Confirm. Okay, I don't know what time it is now. But what happens if we set it to 9 a.m.? It still works. What happens if we set it to 8 a.m.? Still works. Okay. Unless 7 a.m. doesn't work, I'm going to assume that it just sets it forward a year. Or I have the wrong date, which is also possible. Let's set it to 10 a.m. And then I don't know whether to wait around here, see if it hits, because I can't really tell the time. I'm thinking I'll just come back. Yeah, I'll do that. So whenever I figure out what time it is, if it's between 10 and I think 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., I'll come back to the shelter and see if that's open. And since I'm coming back anyway, I'm not going to make a wish right now. I don't want to use up half my coins just to do that. Although someday that'll pay off, I'm sure. For now, oh, here's a clock. It is actually almost 9. Sorry, not almost 9, it's 8:30. Which means 10, I think, was the best call to make there. Assuming I know how to read analog clocks. I do, but sometimes I just make mistakes when doing so. I'm pretty sure 10 o'clock was the right call there. And what are we starting with? We do have a key card. We have the 2 gems, we have 2 coins. So, I don't know, let's go off to the right. None of these are new. None of these give me gems. We can just do hallway. Seems like a safe bet that'll help me out tomorrow. This is a good corner room. This one uses a gem, which I don't necessarily want to do right now, but this would give me extra steps for the rest of the run. Let's do closet though. because I'm a sucker for items these days. Yeah, all very helpful things. And then let's go back this way. Yeah, the clock is moving slowly enough. I think we can make significant progress, or at least some progress, before we have to head back and open the safe. I really hope I set the right date. Let me actually just count to make sure that I didn't do my math wrong. So if day 1 was the 7th, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, okay. Assuming November 7th was day 1. That should be right. Just want to make sure that I don't waste my time or my opportunity to use the time lock safe. I don't think courtyard makes a lot of sense this early on when I don't have enough gems. So let's do Nook. Maybe not the best placement ever, but does get me a key. All of these are fine. Let's do storeroom since I have 2 other ways up. Yeah, there's that. I do like a good storeroom. So I feel like I'm all set for the rest of the run. I guess corridor's fine. Although it feels like kind of a waste. Let's do corridor. And let's not go in yet. Let's go this way. Oof, these are bad. I'm tempted to redraw, but also I might just go with Parlor to get the gems. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't necessarily need to be able to walk through, I just want to get the stuff that's in here. No other items. That's okay. Ooh, okay. The statement on one of the other 2 boxes would be true if you replace the word every with the word this. Oh no. This seems complicated. Every box contains gems. Okay, so we know that's false. And it's possible that this could be true if we replace the word every with the word this. Okay. And this is every box is black. And that would not be true if this one changed from every to this. So let's recap. This one's false. This one's false. This one has to be true. And that makes one of these true if we replace the word. And that this one would be true. Okay, I guess that has to be this one. This box contains gems. Yep. The amount of logic to use for these puzzles is definitely going up. And that's alright. We can do it. Let's just make sure there's nothing to pick up in here. Okay. Hallway looks good. Yeah. I think hallway is my best bet. Keeps my options open. I do have quite a few gems at this point. I feel like putting a dead end here is a little risky, although I do have a redraw. This would definitely help me out with steps, which I have been using a lot, so that might be a bad call, but I'll do it anyway. I'm really honestly just here for the shelter. Even if my run is really short due to me not putting too much effort in everything else. Okay, here we go. Banana. I was thinking there's normally an item in these rooms, or in this room. Let's head this way. Hallway is nice here. Office. I might need to think about office. No, I don't need to use the gems this early. I don't have a maid's room or whatever it's called. I don't have a servant's quarters. And I don't have very many rooms to spread coins to, so just doesn't seem very practical right now. Yeah. Okay. I've seen all of these before. Bedroom would get me some extra steps at this point, which is nice. Although really what I probably want is coins. Showroom gets me kind of where I want to be, because I haven't touched this west wing yet at all. But the showroom's not particularly helpful to me right now, and it costs a lot of gems. Let's do pantry. And let's not go in yet. Archives could be nice since it's sheltered. And that is one of those effects that I really wouldn't want for the rest of the run, and might keep me from picking it for a while. Yeah, we can do that. I need to find like a clock. I'd like to know what time it is right now. I'm sure I'll find one sometime. And I've got a full 4 hours, in-game hours, to go back. So I'm not too worried about it. But just something I want to keep my eye on. I wanted to check through here because I think there was something about yes, Mary Matthew Jones is missing. Last seen getting into a carriage after a late luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. We have now heard about that in the sightseeing guide. Huh. Okay, interesting. I'm also looking around for chess pieces, just in case. I have not seen any, but, you know, I could just be blind. There's always that possibility. Darkroom effect is not worth, you know, being sheltered. So I think bedroom kind of gets me closer to where I want to be. Is there a clock in the bedroom? I would think there would be. I mean, there's a picture of a clock. It's not really what I'm looking for, though. Here's some coins. Thought that was an onion for a second. Right. That's okay. Security is always nice. Study. Study has a thing with a chessboard. It also has a safe that I can't open. I don't know. The pool this early would definitely let me have some more options that I have not taken before, so I might do that, especially if I can do the pump room to empty the fountain. That would be nice. There's also probably a bunch of coins at the bottom of the pool. Yeah, and it gets me where I want to go too. There are a few coins. I'll take it. And a key, nice. Yeah, I want to go down first. This is not a great place for the den, but it would let me see the time, because there's like a million clocks in there. Commissary could also have items that I could use now that I have 10 coins. I am a little wary of putting something like the commissary this out of the way though, because if I need to come back, that's a lot of steps to use. And I almost certainly won't need to come back to the den. So let's just do it. And check the time while we're here. Here's my gem. Is there a trunk? There is. I'll go ahead and open it, so I don't have to come back. Nice. Spent 1 key, got 2. And it is after 10, so I think now would be the time to head back. Trying to decide whether I want to draft a room while I'm here. Don't think there's too much of a point, because I can just do it in the archives. Yeah. Okay. These long hallways are not something I'm used to in this game. Right. I'm wanting to go back. Where am I going back to? I completely lost my train of thought. Out to the shelter. That's right. It's okay. We'll get there. And we've got plenty of time to spare, assuming I got the date correct. I sure hope so. Got a gem. That's nice. A red envelope. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. This is number 7. Wow. Okay. And just to recap, red envelopes were mentioned by Elzara. We'll find 7 of the 8 red envelopes. And let me see if I have more info in my notes. 8 red envelopes resting upon 8 pedestals. And in these 8 envelopes, I see 8 letters penned by 8 different hands, and I will only find and read 7. Dear Uncle, the disappearance of my cousin Mary has long sat unfavorably with me and my father, and I will freely admit to you that the chilly airs of indifference you may have felt in my presence can be attributed entirely to the suspicions that I have harbored for these past years. Suspicions entirely aimed at yourself. And while I have never had the opportunity to prove it, I felt very strongly that you had some deeper involvement in those events 4 years ago. The circulating rumors of those months did nothing but further reinforce my convictions in this fact. Those of us that are once bitten are twice shy, and I am aware of the cost my aggressively aloof behavior has had on the social standing of our family. I do not apologize for my actions, though I am now willing to admit that the conclusions I reached may have been flawed. Last week I had a confidential conversation with one of our mutual acquaintances, a conversation that has shed more light on this mystery than all of my father's countless fruitless inquiries over the years. I now have reason to believe that you were in fact responsible for smuggling my cousin under cover of night across the red border to the southern seafront, and I believe this may have occurred in September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing, a date that coincides not with her public disappearance in February, but instead with the notable theft of the ruby crown. If the Blackwater insurgents were in fact responsible for the heist, as some have claimed, I believe this scenario entirely plausible. And the fact that 2 of the crown's 8 rubies have now surfaced has given me renewed optimism that she is still alive. Interesting. 2 of the crown's 8 rubies. I literally just picked up what seemed to be a ruby. Also, the fact that there are 8 of these things. There's just a lot of sets of 8 things. They're probably all connected. Yeah, I don't know. Renewed optimism that she is still alive. Alive, safe, and finally free. Perhaps my willingness to accept such a sensational story betrays my own desperation. Desperation for answers, desperation for hope, and desperation for a narrative in which you are not the villain. In that distant land we all dream of, the land where the strangling crimson curtains draped across our sky are pulled back, and the windows and shutters of discontent flung wide open. In that distant land, I pray one day to find our Marion safe, happy, and absolved. Courtney. Huh. The disappearance of my cousin Mary. So this should be Herbert's son or daughter? Because Herbert is Mary's uncle. And so this would be Mary's cousin. Yeah. So when she says, I'm assuming this is a she if her name is Courtney. I'm not sure. But if she says, my father has long sat unfavorably with me and my father, she's referring to herself and Herbert. So my question is, this Courtney is a direct descendant of Herbert. Why am I the one receiving this mansion? In my mind, that means something clearly happened to Courtney prior to Herbert's death. Whether that is Courtney is now missing, Courtney maybe left and found Mary, Courtney maybe died, or Courtney did something that Herbert found unsuitable to be an heir. I don't know. Huh. That's really interesting. And the ruby just counts as a normal gem. Ooh. that red envelope is in my inventory, kind of. Separate from everything else. This one doesn't have any names in it, right? No. There are 3 people down there, which I assume maybe would be the shelter. Is there anything we can do here? We can look at the radiation levels. They're at 0.1. Which is, I think, slightly lower than the last time I checked. Measurement of the radiation levels detected in the house and surrounding grounds. These readings are often spiked by the experiments conducted in Mount Holly's laboratory. If the reading is 12 USV or higher, emergency protocol will initiate, and all doors in the house will automatically unlock. Interesting. So I wonder if that's... I have to conduct an experiment, come back, take the reading, and it has to be at 12 or higher. And then all the doors will unlock. Let me just quickly... I mean, it's not going to be that quick, sorry. I want to quickly see... I think I can place an order at the very least. probably do a shovel again, honestly. Right, staff services. And what I would like to do is special order. Is there anything else that I really want? Not particularly. Yeah, shovel seems, it just, I feel like I never get shovels. Feels like we are so far in. We're not that far in, to be clear. I understand that this is a fairly long game. But I feel like we're fairly long in for not having seen shovels, basically ever, except for, I think, one run I had a shovel and could use it. Not sure. Now that we're out here, I might go ahead and make a wish. Although ideally I'll get the pump room and come back out anyway. So now we head straight forward. And we got a couple options. I think I might go to the right since I have two ways out of here. And of course this is locked. Let's do this one. It's not locked. Chapel might be good. I'm trying to think of furnace. Not necessarily especially helpful. Although furnace has some sort of interaction with the boiler room. So that's something to keep in mind. Chapel not taking coins might be helpful here, because I might be coming back to go through the pantry. And it's obviously got a few exits. Sure, maybe a waste of the shelter, but I think I'm okay with that this time. Just want to see if there's anything lying around. I don't think there is. Let's head this way. Security is helpful. Yeah. I like it. Right, okay. One fruit and 4 coins. I don't know how I missed those, but okay. Yeah, we want to change the settings. I would like high settings, because I have the key card, and change that to unlocked. Right, and that's good. I'm assuming this is locked. Yeah. Yeah, let's go up. Also locked. Let's go down first. Maybe not the best use of a key to go do a dead end first, but that's okay. Pump room would be really nice. Dark room I think would be a huge waste of the shelter. Utility closet, not necessarily helpful for security at this point. Might be useful for the gymnasium and maybe the garage as well. But I'm leaning towards pump room. Which there is an interaction with the boiler room, which I probably can't do now. Actually, security does have air vents, so maybe. But it has something to do with this. whatever that does. I guess maybe just controls the reserve tank. But again, I don't really know what that means. So what I want to do is empty the fountain. And I'm okay with filling up the pool again. So to do that, fountain comes through here. I think that fills the thing, maybe. Yeah, that's going to the correct tank. Yeah. Okay, and so then we need to empty really either tank into, I guess, the pool, which is the very last one, which is at the end. And this would be, I think, down makes it go into the pool. Yeah. Yes. Okay, and I think tank 2 is not connected to the pool. It's connected to 1, 2, and 4. Right, okay. Yeah, I can just keep going back and forth between the fountain and the pool for at least a little bit. It's possible I need the reserve tank. Yeah, it's looking like there's not enough. Well, let me think about it. I've got 6 left. No, that should be enough. I just need to get into the greenhouse as well. And the greenhouse, sorry, is number 5, which is connected to both, which is good. Okay. So, yeah, let's keep emptying this. And, right, greenhouse is right here. So we do that. And then we can do, oh, down. Yes. Okay. And then also the pool. And then the fountain again. So now the fountain should be completely empty. Right? Yes. Okay. Just go ahead and do some of that. Not all of it, but some of it. Right. So I think at this point, do I want to go ahead and go back out? Maybe. Yes. I know it's a little wasteful on steps, but I really want to see what the fountain looks like when it's empty, because it's potentially an entrance to the tomb. Or not the tomb, but like the catacombs. Oh yeah, look at that. And I do seem to get all my coins back, or at least some of them. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think it was worth it to come back out. Except what is this? The basement door is locked. This key does not fit. I need the basement key. So it seems like I have to come back here after I get to the antechamber. But I think the fountain may potentially stay drained, if the pool is any indication. I think the fountain might stay drained until I mess with the pump room again, even on future runs. So it's possible that I just have to make it to an antechamber, or the antechamber, on this run or a future run, as long as I don't refill the fountain. And I think I'm okay with that. I did not see if I used a step to go down there or what it said when I did. But that's okay. All right, so now the goal is just to keep going. And I'll probably still just like prioritize new rooms, because I think those just have a lot of potential to have information that I have not seen before. Got some steps, some yummy steps. Hallway fits well here. I do have quite a few coins, so that's always an option. The commissary, I mean. Honestly, I have enough coins that I might see if I can get the showroom or whatever it's called. Yeah, I'd like to go towards the left side if possible. I guess the question is, do I want a garage just to get the 3 keys, or do I want to start heading downward on the west wing? This will also give me some extra steps. I think I'm leaning toward going downward, especially since it gives me more opportunities for rooms that might have levers in them if I'm really wanting to make it to the antechamber. I don't know if I've had this room with windows before, but it looks very different. I mean, I also came in from that way, which I think I might... Well, no, I think I've come in from this way before. Yeah, I think it just looks very different with windows. I like it. Well, I mean, Greenhouse has a broken lever, and it has things that I have not looked at yet. Putting this here would block me off from those spaces. I don't currently have a shovel. I mean, theoretically, I should still be able to see the greenhouse since I'm staying on the edge. Nah, I'll take it. I want the information. And I don't want to risk not being able to see it later. Here's a sledgehammer. Oh, and sheet music. Perfect. Okay, so this is page 5. The ones in the ballroom were 6 and 7, and the one in the workshop was 8, which was the final one. Trees found inside will never shade the gems that shine in night and rain. The clue you hold cannot be paid with gems nor coin, so toss away these sheets you find, a worthy trade. Huh. Well, I'm going to write down sheets since that's the bolded word. So far I have sheets are true message on pages 5 through 8. But it's possible I'll just need to read some of those full sheets again to really understand what's going on. I'm not sure I can make too much sense of like these words as a whole. The clue you hold cannot be paid with gems nor coin, so toss away. Though these sheets you find a worthy trade. Okay, I think that's probably the only thing. I'm just looking around really carefully, because last time I kind of rushed in and rushed out. Yeah, I think that's all that's in here. There are some nice flowers. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Alright. I mean, I'll take it. I'm a little confused about that, but maybe I should just accept the gem and move on. I don't know why there's a flower that, or a gem that looks like a flower in here. Okay. Onward we go. We don't have a broken lever on us, so that's all we can do in there for now. And let's go this way. Yeah, sure. Bunk room would give me a bunch of steps, and we do still have 2 ways up, so that might not be too bad. It probably also has an item. Commissary would also be fine, and I could potentially buy something. I don't know if they have a broken lever for sale at the commissary sometimes. It's possible though. But I'm leaning towards this one since I already have 2 other ways up. And this would give me what, 10 steps? Yes. And then I would just need to use 4 to get to the chapel. I don't think that's too bad. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. Yep, that's +5 +5. Hello. Hi. I don't know how you're staying fed, but I guess I am happy that you are. And I think those coins are probably all that's in here. That looks like 2 pawns, so I'm going to write down, what is this called, the bunk room? Yes. I'm going to write down that there are pawns in the bunk room. Okay. Someday I'm going to be upset that I did not mark the colors of these pawns. I just feel like that's going to happen. And we will just have to be okay with that. Yeah, okay. Now back to the chapel. Yes. Back to the chapel. Yeah, I'll use a key. I don't really like the direction any of these are going, because I'd really like to head back to the left. Yeah, let's redraw. Okay. Chamber of Mirrors has potential. here. Because I could come in from the opposite end, although I have used my redraw now. So I think it is kind of risky, because I could end up going back to security and not being able to go all the way to the other side. But I am a little too curious about it. Yeah. Probably going to regret it. Let's press the button to open up the opposite side. And I don't know if I looked for a chess piece in here last time. I don't think I see one. Yeah. I think I'm good. So let's head back over here and hope that we can make it all the way across. I'm going to be... Okay. Yes. Both of these are just fine. In fact, I might do secret passage and then a red room would almost guarantee that I can make it to the other end. And would only cost 1 gem instead of 2. Yeah, let's do that. I am a little hesitant to do red room since there are other colors that I haven't seen certain rooms of. But red room is the most likely to get me to the left, I think. Do I think that? Yes. But also, I don't know if it's worth it. Because even if I go to the left, I'll have to ensure that I can come back down, which is not necessarily going to happen. It might be better to do this. Maybe. Oh, man. Let me look at my directory. Got 3 bedrooms I haven't seen yet. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to which direction it has you come in from. Maybe. Either that or it's always in this direction. That's showing on here. But I'm not positive about that. There's 1 green room I haven't seen yet. There's 3 shops I haven't seen yet. And there's 2 shops that theoretically would turn to the left when I enter. Although I'm almost certain that I have drawn the commissary and it's been rotated the other way. That might have been a terrible decision. Before I leave, there is a chess piece in here. It's a pawn. So the secret passage has a pawn. Okay. I mean, this does get me to the left. I have already seen the other two. Yeah. I also just can't really afford to do the other two because they're dead ends. Still can't dig. Going to look closely in here, see if there's any information that maybe I didn't notice before. I don't think so. Oh, that's the patio, I think. Because there's the grills. Yeah. That's the laundry room. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything in here that tells me anything, at least that I can decipher right now. Okay, now the question is, do I go to the left and risk not drawing a room that I want? Or do I just keep going up and maybe hope for like a die that I can use to redraw? The risk I run there is if this costs gems, no matter what, then I can't necessarily use those gems if I need them over here. Like I might spend one gem going up and then come back, and then the one room that leads back to the Chamber of Mirrors costs 2 gems. And that would not be a fun experience. Let's do it. Okay, thank goodness we do have an observatory, and I'm going to take it. Because I really want into the Chamber of Mirrors. Most definitely. Yes, I already have written down that there's a knight in here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I got +1 key. I'll take it for sure. Yeah, I think that's all in here. And then I can walk past this and press the center button. Whoa. Interesting. Hold on, I'm going to let my cat get on my lap for a second. There you go. Gotta sit down though. Okay. Okay, now I'm up on the 2nd floor. Don't think I can press the buttons. What can I do up here? I don't know. What can I do? There's something to do, I think. Oh! You found a duplicate copy of one of your floor plans. Would you like to permanently add an additional spare room to your drafting pool? Yeah, sure. I think rooms that go straight across that don't cost anything are pretty valuable. Huh. Okay. Coins. Ooh. Wine cellar. It is another dead end, but that's a lot of gems. Yeah, I'll add it. And lastly, a key. Okay, I think that's probably all there is to do up on the top floor. That's nice though. Let's go back down. And I can also open this. Whoa, was not expecting that to happen. Huh. Okay, that's 4 more coins. Yeah, okay. And 4 more coins. And more buttons too. That lifts the other side. And this also lifts the other side. But in order to get to those, I would need to come in from the left or right sides. And there's only even a chance that I might come in from the left. But I am slowly kind of blocking myself off. So we might want to try to fix that. Yep, I will use a key. I just got one. Dining room would be spectacular right here. I don't think I realized I had more than one storeroom in my drawing pool. So that's interesting. Not only would dining room get me to more places, it would also have a meal. So I will take it. Nice. Not seeing anything to grab. So I'll just have a meal. Plus 10 if you have a boiler room. I don't think I'm gonna bother looking for one. So boiled chuck stew layered and then baked to perfection, topped with a mashed potato Parmesan cheese crust. That sounds really good. A sad day to be lactose intolerant. As are most days, really. That uses a key. This one also uses a key. I'm thinking this is probably the better option. Okay, parlor blocks me off from the left side. And ballroom does not, but I can't afford it. Ah, that's kind of sad. Man, this makes me wish I had gone up and gotten parlor. And then maybe I could have come back and gotten ballroom. Let's do parlor. It's also a second parlor. Oh, it's because I've gotten the Chamber of Mirrors, so I can just draw duplicates of anything. I completely forgot about that. This will give me 2 gems. But then I'd only have 2 rooms left I can go to. I only have 2 rooms left I can go to either way. So the question is utility closet do anything for me? Probably not. Let's do parlor. Let's grab this. Still no item. Only one of the other boxes is false. The gems are in a false box. The gems are in a false box. Only one of the other boxes is false. This one has to be false. Because these say the same thing. So they can't be one of them true and one of them false. Because that would be a paradox. Only one of the other boxes is false. So this one's false. So that means one of these, well, no, they both have to be true. Because if these are both false and this is false, then there are no true boxes. So these both have to be true. And since these are true and this is the false box, then the gems have to be in here. Nice. Okay. And then this is the last key I have. The other one also requires a key. I'm trying to decide if there's a chance of me finding something more interesting on the right. I think there is. I think the chances of me finding something interesting in the top right corner are better than in the top almost right corner. So let's do this. Another observatory. I should have checked what the next thing in the observatory was. I don't think furnace would be helpful at all. Commissary might be helpful, especially if I can buy keys. But I don't know what the chances of that are, because I don't think they typically sell keys. What do they sell? They could sell a shovel, and there are a few places I could dig. And probably only actually two. But that's something I could go back and do if I had a shovel. Could be a sledgehammer. Well, I already have a sledgehammer. Salt would not be helpful. Gems would not be helpful. Sleeping mask would not be helpful. So if I took this, I'd really just have to hope there's a shovel. Unless they happen to sell keys, but probably not. Right? On the other hand, we go to the observatory, and I have no idea what the observatory would do. Possibly just another key. Okay. I'm also curious what it means by +1 star for each time you've drafted observatory. Do I just immediately get another star? I do, and also the sound cut out. Or my sound cut out. Okay, it's back. We're fine. Okay. Yes, I did get, I think, an extra star, which means I don't know. Rooms with 4 doors are more common today. Well, thank you. That's maybe not what I was hoping for. And then this is going to be locked. Okay. So that seems to be all I can do. The only other places to go would be the shelter, which I've already gotten what I need from there. The pathway to the basement is locked until I can get to the antechamber. You know what I could have probably done? No, I don't think I'm going to dwell on that. I don't remember which door the greenhouse unlocks. It is... Honestly, I have enough steps. I might go back and just look. Yeah, I'll do that. The thing I was thinking was, if I had the commissary and I had it right next to the antechamber, I could potentially have bought a... What am I thinking of? A broken lever that I then could have used in the green room to unlock the antechamber and then come back and gone in. But I don't necessarily think that that's the one that the green room opens, the greenhouse. The greenhouse lever might not open that one. No, it opens the bottom one. Okay, so I wouldn't have been able to go there anyway. Alrighty, well that's fine. There are 2 dig spots in here, but I'm not sure what I would get out of them. Anyway, so far I haven't really gotten that many good things out of dig spots. Is there anything else I can be doing? I'm sure the pump room does something. In fact, I'm willing to bet that emptying the green room does something. But I don't currently have an idea of what that would be. Yeah. How many steps do I have? 32? I mean, I could go to the pump room, figure out how to empty the greenhouse, come back, see what happens, and then go back to the pump room and redo it. Right? Because that would only be, what, 18 steps? Yeah. I mean, that's something to do. We have a green room and a pump room. Might as well see the interaction between them while we can. I also probably want to see what other rooms the pump room affects. That would be the fountain, the reservoir. I don't know what the reservoir is. The aquarium. Oh, the aquarium. Ooh. Now that is intriguing. And that would only be a few extra steps to figure that out. The kitchen, also kind of intriguing since I can turn on the faucet in there. But I don't have a kitchen right now, so maybe not a good idea. And the greenhouse, okay. I think I might do aquarium first. That seems really intriguing. So that's number 3, and that goes straight into this tank. So I would need to go back to the fountain, which is, right, that's this one. And we want to do this. Yes. There's this faint line right here, and I wonder what that means. Like, there's these darker colors up here, and then there's these lighter ones. So that might also be something to mess around with if I have the steps for it. What I would like to do now is aquarium. I would like to drain. And that would be this. Yeah, let's fill up the fountain. And drain the aquarium. Okay, now I just go up this way and see what the aquarium looks like with no water. I mean, it's empty, that's for sure. I don't know what happened to the fish. Feel kind of bad for them, though. Is there anything I can see? I mean, I can see the back walls. Don't know if I could before. There doesn't really seem to be anything there. There's the laundry room, which does have a lot going on, but not really anything that seems to be of use. Huh. Well, I thought that would be a little more interesting. I guess there's always the chance that I'm just not seeing something. Oh. There's an arrow pointing at this filing cabinet. So, is that the archives? I'm just trying to think of where else I may have seen filing cabinets and bookshelves. The archives is the only place I can think of. Yeah, I don't think I've even seen filing cabinets in like the library or anything like that. So there's a specific filing cabinet, maybe between two bookshelves, that maybe I can interact with. Okay, let me go back to the pump room. Let me make sure there's no arrows on anything else. There might be, since I think these are all rooms that are elsewhere in the house. This, I think, is just the bedroom, like the normal bedroom. Don't really see anything there. Yeah, I don't think I see anything there. This is the patio. That has an X. Right in front of the grill. Okay. I'm worried that I'm just missing writing in these other places. But it's possible I'll just see it in editing. I'm not seeing anything here. And over here, there's an X next to the middle washing machine. Okay. So there's an X next to the middle washing machine. There's an X next to the grill. And there's an arrow pointing at a filing cabinet. I might just go look at the archives to make sure that that's not in here. Yeah. And it's right next to the pump room anyway. Yeah, it seems like the place. Now, is there a filing cabinet that it seems like it may have obviously been talking about? Can't interact with any of these. Can't interact with any of those, it looks like. It looks like it was between two bookshelves, like side by side, but doesn't really look like there is one like that, unless I'm blind. We never want to discount that possibility. It's also possible that I might need power going in here, but I don't think... No, Archives is not one of the rooms that was listed as using the boiler room power for anything. Seems like it's just a kind of like a conduit for it. I mean, these also don't necessarily look like the books that were in the aquarium. And yeah, that's the bedroom that was shown in the aquarium. But I didn't really see anything. I can just walk in there without penalty. So I might as well. Don't think I saw anything too suspicious. I mean, I guess that looks kind of suspicious. And this, I noticed pretty much right away, like in the first episode. Seemed kind of suspicious. But I don't know what to do with that. And in the aquarium, it's just the bed, which seems normal. The nightstand with the lamp, which seems pretty normal. Also wondering if these lamps shouldn't be counted as pawns, now that I'm really looking at it. Especially since there's another pawn in here. Can't open the drawer or anything. And then there is this wardrobe, which doesn't seem interactable at all. But there are these scratches at the bottom. And there's this weird like block that maybe is just a normal part of a wardrobe that I don't know about. But I'm inclined to think that there's something else going on there. Huh. Well, lots of filing cabinets that don't really seem to do much. There is a lot of red in here though. I need to interact with like a keyhole, because that's always possible. Seems like the type of thing that they wouldn't make it very obvious that you could interact with. So maybe you just had to put your little cursor right on the keyhole. Although I don't have any keys anyway, so I'm not sure what I would do even if I could. But it would at least give me the information. The one I really would like to check is this one. No, does not seem like I can do anything with that. Okay. Don't really want to go back to the aquarium just to look. Especially since I do want to make sure to do the greenhouse stuff and be able to drain the fountain again. So I'm going to refill the aquarium. And we're going to unfill the fountain. Drain, that's the word for that. That's not what I wanted to do, actually. What I'd like to do is drain the greenhouse. And the greenhouse is this one. So we want that. And we want this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then into the fountain. And then the greenhouse. Okay, so now if I go back to the greenhouse, something ought to be different. Yep, this way. It's not raining. But is anything different? This wall reminds me of the secret garden. Because there's a wall in the secret garden that looks like that. I wonder if something happens if I can line up this wall with the secret garden wall. Also, this door is in the middle of the room. So I'm thinking there's something behind this wall. But I don't know how to get to the other side of that wall. I'm also not sure that turning off the water did anything. I wonder if I can let the plants in here die. Not that I want to do that, but it's possible that that does something. But now's not really the time I want to try that because I'd rather keep the fountain drained. In case I do end up making it back to the antechamber someday. Yeah, I'm not seeing much to do in here. Or really anything that's changed. I'm curious about this single window that seems to have been boarded up and might be missing glass. Huh, okay. Well, I'm gonna stop walking around here and staring at nothing. And I'm gonna head back to the pump room. That's this way. And I'm going to redrain the fountain, and then I'm going to call it a day. So let's change these. I unfortunately don't have enough steps to... Well, do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, because I mean, it's possible I could briefly see what it does as soon as I walk out the door. But I am curious what happens if I just keep it like kind of at the level where the colors kind of change. Not sure. Aquarium is this one. Right, so this, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a different color. I feel like there's a meaning behind that. But I'll probably have to find that out some other time. Okay. The fountain is drained. Gonna set all these back to normal. Don't necessarily have a reason for doing that, except that I want to make sure that it does in fact save. In fact, I might walk out here. Just to make sure it saves what I did there. And then I'm going to call it a day. Yeah. East facing Inn of Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of tomorrow rooms just in general because of all those hallways that I have. In fact, I think all of my tomorrow rooms were hallways. I did not get any new rooms today, I don't think. But that's okay, because I did do some new things. And I think the major things that I did, I opened the time lock safe in the shelter, which is great. I can check that off my list. That's 2 safes down, technically speaking, and 6 to go. And I also drained the fountain, which can serve as an entrance to, I don't know, catacombs, underground area. It does make me wonder, because I clearly have to go to the antechamber just to be able to enter the basement. What can I actually access from the tomb side of things? Because I'm thinking it's maybe not that much. But it seemed like a lot, that's for sure. I'm hoping I can find that out soon. I think that's going to be the outer room that I will take above all others. After that one, I'm thinking the school sounds the most intriguing. Now that I'm prioritizing gems at the beginning, I think I might actually be able to get further with the whole school thing. Get a few more classrooms going. I think that'd be really nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like or a positive comment. That really helps me out. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.